So we had the firework festival. We've got Isaki, who is continuing to flirt with death, but at the same time managed to tell Nakami the reason why she's unable to sleep in the first place, and it's that overwhelming anxiety and that feeling of her heart is going to stop during her sleep and that she'll never wake up again. So there's that overwhelming fear and anxiety that overwhelms her, for a lack of better words. I assume the meteor shower is next, since the reason why they went to the festival is to pass out the flyers and everything. So we'll have to see whether that is a success or not, although I will say a moderate success, you know, like there are actually a few people, not as much as they wanted, I would assume, but you know, if there are still a few people, especially people outside the school who decides that they want to come and see the meteor shower, and you're able to get them interested in this whole starry stuff, right? Who knows? Actually, now that I think about it, with the way that their poster is, you know, with Nakami and Isaki in like a dance pose, and that's how the poster is, it kind of just looks like a romantic night, like a romantic evening date, you know, under the fucking meteor shower. And honestly, if they wanted more people, they could have considered hitting that for the couples around, yeah. Putting it on the internet also works. Anyways, I'm going off on a ramble, but if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't. And if you didn't like the content, dislike the video, and we'll be on our way. Let's get started. Someone's getting a tan? Big brain move! Oh. So I'm not even gonna tell you about it. Alright, Connie. Royal milk tea? Steamy kelpwood, what? Relatable. Oh! She left it to fate! Is that the steamed kelp? Steamy kelp tea latte, like... Dude, Connie just fucking chugged that. She was just like, oh, it's disgusting, give me that. Monkey. Wow, everybody's having their own little lunch here. What is that? Just... I was wondering. Just a corn on the cob? Holy shit! She finished that in like... not even a minute! What the f... Oh, there goes everyone. Look at that. Everybody had lunch with everyone. This is like somebody saying, God, I wish I could have just recited the entire script of the B movie. So, he made dinner for his dad, but his dad hasn't come home yet? Is that what it was? Oh? Well, we've already got reasons on why Isaki can't sleep, so... Oh? Holy shit, did his door open that loud that you're just... I mean, how low you've got the volume on? God, I hate softballs. They're so fucking... They're so fucking big. Damn, dude, what a fucking viewing. Wow, childhood friends. Oh, that's very vague, but okay. You lost all that energy now, huh? Mm-hmm. Ah. What if he was just poor? Oh, there he is, going at it again. 50 people? Alright, you remember to cut that in half. Like, at the very least, half of those people probably aren't going. Ooh! Wow! Ramoon drinks. Hell yeah, dude. Free drinks will get people to come on in. You offer free ice cream too while you're at it? What a smile, dude. Very, of course, very, different in the way that it was in, episode 1, Fucking rain, always coming. It is summer, right? Summer gets, like, this fucking big burst of rain from time to time. Your fault for what? You fucking summoned the rain god here? Shit. Things gotta go down before they go up, huh? Oh. Damn. Sometimes things like this happen, huh? Said this man fucking summoned the rain god out here. Oh shit! So, he feels like it's very of his own fault, right? And like, it makes me wonder if that has to accompany with the way that he feels about his mom, right? Okay. After party? Everybody's coming, let's go. Ooh, Shiromaru, Kurashiki-sensei took off her... I have coupons for. Huh. He's just having a little bit of a sad time right now. Walking in the rain. The low voice that yells out to him in all this noise. Come on, my guy, you've got an after party to come on too. Can't be all wet out here. I mean, both of them are wet at this point. I do find it very fun that they give the girls blue shirts. Just in case it rains like this, you know? What a fucking metaphor that is. This is the same place they hide out with, in the cops, from the cops, right? He's just in shock at this point. All that noise. All that noise. Oh. It's raining hard. That's... Maybe next time, huh? Girling stuff. Well, Isaki is the sort of person who says things happen and you just gotta move on. A power game. Methodically. It's always like this for me. Hopefully you're not recording that for your broadcast, right? Oh. The Nightly Fun Society. Speaking to each other, but not directly. I heard it. Wow. You can't even look at her. He's just... Hey. Y'all just staring at the camera now? Oh. Oh, that's not heart. I was just like, fireworks? What are you... It's raining. Of course, Shiromaru is. She's running at speed of light. There's still another chance. Ooh, in December. He pissed off the rain god. That's right, no. Relatable. Piss on a frog. Alright. What is this restaurant that they went to that they have like a picture of ancient Egypt art? Egyptian drawings? We'll make it a success next time. There you go. Oh, so it's like what Isaki's always been trying to tell you. Keep your head up. Shiromaru's just... Oh, that's the end. All right, we didn't get to see the meteor shower. They've yet again left us at a cliffhanger about a meteor shower. Not this meteor shower we're not gonna see, but maybe we'll see we'll see the next meteor shower when it comes, right? And they're gonna plan this all over again. I love that one scene where Kurashiki-sensei goes and says, "Alright, who wants to go to the after party?" And the only person who raised their hand was Shiromaru. Yes, I'd go to the after party with you, Kurashiki-sensei. Alright, it's a nice episode that goes and take the idea of not everything will go to plan, right? You can plan it to the T, like what Nakami, right? He's just like, I put so much plan into this methodically. And yet it never goes right. It never goes right for me. The thing with this whole idea, right? The fact that things don't always go to plan. The subsidy, the cure, not the cure, the resolution for it is usually, hey, you have to keep your head up, we've got to move on, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's always going to be something new that's going to bring you, it's going to bring you that feeling of accomplishment and joy later on, you know? And especially if it's something was out of your control, like the fucking weather, then it is what it is, right? But okay, I'm going to write my notes, and we will be right back to the center. Alright, so that was episode 8 of Insomniacs After School. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I Always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good episode. We had a little bit more of a focus on Isaki in the more or less the previous 2 episodes, but specifically the previous episode with us learning the reason why she's unable to sleep. And so here we are having that focus more on Nakami. So it's very nice. We've kind of been seeing his little issue with the whole meteor shower stuff, right? With him feeling like he's going to let everybody down. He's going to waste everybody's effort by the event failing, especially with him learning that everybody's got their own issues and everybody's got their own things that they need to do, and yet here they are putting it aside for him, for this party that he's doing. And so, yeah, he feels like a whole burden of responsibility is being put on him, and so it's, for someone like Nakami, even though he's been reassured before by Kurashiki, by Isaki, it's really hard for him to get off of that hump, to be able to hop off of this, this little wagon that he's just slowly riding on, right? He'll stop from time to time, but it'll always end up continuing for him at the current moment, right? It's not something that he's able to give up easily. That feeling, that weight of like anxiety that he feels, right? It's not something that he's just able to just boom, it's gone. It's, like his insomnia. It's not really, it's just gonna fucking snap one day and he's just like, wow, I can sleep all of a sudden. That's fucking great. Before we go too much into Nakami, because he's the main dish for this episode, I do want to talk about just the smaller things that we were getting, just to make a note of everybody having lunch together, the friend group, and especially after the firework viewing and everything, right? Their relationship is getting a little bit closer, and you can see the difference in this episode compared to episode 1. And it also sees in the way that God, far away Ukigawa is a little scary. Anyways, we also see it in the way that Nakami is reacting, because in episode 1, he didn't really get any sleep, and he was before what he had told to Isaki, where he felt like he was the only person suffering through this, and he was very jealous of other people being able to get a good sleep and have fun and all that. How fucking dare they? It's very nice just to see this relationship of the friend group getting growing a little stronger. And maybe for Ukigawa, he's got more girl friends. you have to put space between there. He has more girl friends. Perhaps he's getting to know them for the most part, but he'll always be Nakami's wingman. Anyways, we have a minor focus on Anamizu, who was out here picking up, was going to pick up her softball, but then this baseball guy, I would assume that he's not, I don't know, actually no, I don't know why I assume he was a baseball guy. He's not even wearing a baseball uniform. I only assume he's a baseball guy because I'm just like, oh, Anamizu plays softball. Of course she's going to have a crush on a guy who's playing baseball, a similar sport as she. Maybe he's just some other sporty dude. Well, the only other reason why I sort of assume that he's like a baseball guy is because of his haircut. I don't know, dude. Like when guys in anime and all that, right? When they're playing sports, and if it's baseball, they always have like this haircut where they just shave their hair off. It's like the military or something. You can't have long hair. That's what I always think. So that's why I immediately assume that he's a baseball guy, despite not wearing any. Well, I mean, perhaps it's also the way that he throws it, right? Yeah, it's all. I'm just going to assume it's a baseball guy. And so you can see that like she was hiding her head, right? She was just going like, "Oh, sure," and he asks, we see him fucking folding his hands, crumpling his fists. God, what is English? Anyways, him balling his hands and saying that he's thinking about attending the viewing party tomorrow. Can you put my name on the register? That'd be great. So, we've got that little blush right there. I will say, in terms of the art style, I really like the way that they draw the blushes. It's very nice. Anyways, yeah, it seems like Anamizu's got a bit of a crush on a baseball guy, and she was a little happy that. Wait, actually no. I was backtracking on myself, but like, did Anamizu said that he was in baseball? Hold on. There's a senpai I know who told me that he was interested. Okay, so it's just a well, I mean, she's just saying senpai, but I'm still gonna assume it's a baseball guy. But I don't want to write it in, it's senpai. I don't give a shit who this guy is. For all I know, if we're really hitting some fucking romance tropes, right? If we're hitting that, the possibility of this guy actually being interested in Anamizu, very little. Because, well, oh, she's a sporty girl, she's an athletic girl, perhaps she's a little too boyish, you know, she's a little too tomboyish. Who knows? That's usually, like, the case with someone like Anamizu, and if, like, they have a crush on someone, and then that person is actually having a crush on somebody else, and they're actually just trying to use Anamizu to get through that person because she's their friend. So, I don't know. I don't know, you know, if we're gonna hit that sort of trope, that's what I assume this guy is going to be. He actually has a crush on someone else in the friend group. He's just going through Anamizu because she's the closest, because, like, I assume he's played sports as well, and she plays sports, so they have that sort of connection, and as Anamizu says, there's his senpai, and so I assume that she already knows him at this point. I mean, even with the way that they were interacting with each other. There you go. And so in the last scene, when they were talking about how there's going to be another chance to do another meteor shower because it happens often and it's not something that's like once a year or anything. And so we have her just going, you know, her fist up and saying, awesome. And for some reason, when I saw this, because the whole crush that she has on the guy has just been wiped out of my mind at that point. Well, when she did that, I thought she was just very, you know, into the whole meteor shower help thing. I don't know why. I was just like, oh wow, she's really enthusiastic about the meteor shower. No, she's happy because there's going to be another meteor shower and perhaps the senpai's gonna come and go see the viewing. So we're yet again delaying something to another date. Truly is romance, where things just get ruined and blocked and then they have to be rescheduled to somewhere else. So despite the meteor shower viewing party being ruined by the rain, we've got our two reliables of the group, I suppose, Isaki and Shiromaru. Of course, Isaki cares very much about Nakami, so she's going to go, and she didn't really, it seems like she was a bit of in a turmoil on whether she wanted to look for him or not, you know, perhaps she just wanted some time alone, but here's Shiromaru who's just like, alright, I'm gonna go fucking find this boy. We gotta go get him to the after party. She's being a reliable senpai out here, right? And so Isaki takes that opportunity to be like, me too, I'm gonna go out and fucking search for him. So, very nice, I very much am enjoying just the relationship that they all have with one another. That being said, Shiromaru she's just here in terms of the group. You know, I don't think she's hang out with all the other girls all that much, but it's whatever. Alright, that's pretty much all I have for the friend group and the stuff that's currently happening with them right now. So let's talk about our main boy, our Nakami. This boy out here, right? So here we have Nakami who's trying to go to sleep. He's listening to that same podcast that we've been seeing. We've seen since the first episode. Anyways, he has a dream. He's holding hand with his mom. He's very happy. And then his mom says, look up at the sky. And she's just like, there's so many stars. Ain't it pretty? Perhaps, you know, if he was, because, like, I assume this is sort of a dream, but I'm not sure, you know, is it, like, actually his memory, or he's dreaming that he's dreaming about this previous memory of his, right? Because, like, maybe in the actual memory, he was very happy to see the stars. You know, this is just a wide assumption, but, like, perhaps he was actually happy to see the stars, but because he is in a dream, and perhaps he's kind of starting to realize that this is a dream or whatever, he looks up at the stars. Perhaps he looks up, or maybe he's just glancing at his mom. And then he gets very sad. He gets a little dejected. And then his mom is just like, oh? What the hell happened? And then we hear this loud lock, and it wakes him up, right? And he's unable to sleep again. And also, before all this, actually, we see dinner on the table. right? I believe that's what it was. Yeah. There's just wrapped up dinner on the table. He made a hamburger for his dad. How nice of him. We're continuing to see more of Nakami's perhaps reasons on why he's unable to have a good sleep, and that's presumably his mom. And we even got that with the way Ukigawa was talking about. Ukigawa was talking about his friend, because they're childhood friends. And so he describes Nakami when he was younger. He used to be more energetic, like a sporty types of kid, right? And he was the fastest kid in the class, but throughout the year, he started to slow down, and he assumes that it's probably because he never wore new shoes. He's always wearing the same shoe, even though it was crushing his heel. And then we have Connie, who, of course, because of the way that she is, even her friends recognize that her attitude is the worst. But they're still friends with her, because she's a tsundere, because of course she is. Anyways, because she doesn't have, there's a lot of because, since she doesn't have knowledge on Nakami, the little things that makes him tick, and especially with us being able to actually see his dreams and being able to probe into his mind and all that. Since she doesn't have that option, she's only thinking about like, oh, what a fucking weird kid. What a fucking weirdo, never wearing new shoes or anything. She's laughing about that. And my first thought initially was, what if he's just poor and he couldn't afford another shoe? I don't know his... I don't know his situation financially. It seems like right now he's living just in a little apartment. His dad is like working all day, perhaps, because it seems like he never sees his dad and all that. And we continue to have that whole thing with like him making dinner and then covering it up for his dad for when he finally gets home, whenever he's coming home. So it's like perhaps his whole family situation where his dad is probably being very distant, and he's probably just putting a lot of his time into work in order to provide for his family, but also at the same time he probably doesn't really want to be home, because maybe that reminds him of his dead wife. I assume she's dead anyways. What was I talking about? I was talking about the shoe. So, as I was writing the note, and I was thinking about like how he kept the same shoe throughout the entire year, even though it was getting way too small for him. His feet was just growing too big. He was becoming Bigfoot out here, but he refuses to buy new shoes. He's always wearing the same one, and that's why he slowed down over the years, despite being a very fast kid. And it kind of made me wonder, shoes, right? If you've got shoes, and if it's starting to hurt your feet, you're not going to continue to wear this shoe, especially if, you've got parents. I'm sorry to all the orphan child, but you would usually get new shoes. This shoe's hurting me. I'm gonna buy new shoes. I'm gonna get these new shoes. And usually there are, certain circumstances on why you wouldn't want new shoes, even if they're hurting your feet. And it's either you're poor, or that shoe has a very significant meaning to you, and you don't want to toss it aside, or something else. I don't know. That's the only two that I currently can think of right now. So with that second idea, I was wondering if was this shoe given to him by his mom, and somewhere around this time his mom had died, and so his shoe, is one of the object that he's able to keep a hold of her in his own little ways. He could have just put that shoe on a pedestal in like a little glass case or something. This is the shoe that my mom gave to me. But him wearing that shoe, again, holding perhaps there's some sort of significance in said shoe, whether it's his mom actually gave it to him, or the shoe reminds him of a better time in his life. Who knows? All right, who knows? All just a wide assumption on just the shoe and him dreaming about his mom, and then him looking at the stars in his dream, and then he's not smiling despite his mom being like, look at the stars, it's really pretty, isn't it? And he's just over like... And then with this whole situation of everybody getting along well with one another, and he is out here feeling a little up and up. Who knows? So feeling a little up and up. Maybe things will go well after all. We get fucking hit by the goddamn rain again. This is the second time the rain has come to make Nakami feel like shit. And so the whole viewing party is dismissed because of this. Understandable. But here is Nakami in his own head thinking, this is all my fault, before he finally says it out to the group that this is all his fault. As the other girls were talking about it, and how even Nono was, I mean, she's a little superstitious, so she's just like, he says that it's all his fault. Do you think it's because he knocked over some rocks in the shrines? You know, he might have pissed off some god or something, and that's why they rain on his parade? And I do find it funny that that's what Nono is thinking. Like, maybe that's the case. If he says it's all his fault, it has to be some superstition shit, because, like, there's no way we can control the goddamn weather. But, yeah, it's everybody in their head. It's just like, oh, this sucks. It's a fucking downer. It's a grueling experience, but sucks to suck. For the most part, they're probably just gonna move away from it. But Nakami is stuck in this area where, again, he feels like it's all his fault, and he's still trying to see, like, oh, maybe somebody is at the station and they're actually coming to the meteor shower, while everybody's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's raining, it's downpouring right now. Nobody is going to come. And so he still tries anyways, and he goes off, and it kind of makes me wonder, well, I mean, in terms of, like, just that small little connection, again, obvious, very wide assumption that his mom, something happened to his mom, and he finds that it's all his fault. Sometimes it's a little easier. Well, it really depends on the person, whether it's easier for them to blame others or it's easier to blame other people. And for this sort of situation, Nakami finds it much easier to just put all the blame on himself. You know, this is all his fault, and I do wonder if this stems from the way that his mom passed away and he feels like he wasn't able to do anything about it, and even the way that he says, like, no matter how, well, he says, but the more methodically I try to approach things, the more certain they are to get ruined in the end. All the time. It's always like this for me. Right, and so he's bringing up all these other memories that he doesn't like, and this one particular situation, even though it's perhaps very minor, you know, again, the things just happen, sucks to suck, but it's this one minor thing it's this one minor thing that's been stacking up on itself throughout the years, right? So even though it's just one minor thing that people will just be like, well, it's unfortunate, but this is just how it is. The limit, you know, his little breaking limit is already reaching to the top, and so it's very hard for him to be able to just be like everybody else, because he feels like this is all his fault, because he's done all these other methodical plans that isn't the meteor viewing party, and according to him, it's all failed all the time. It's always like this for him. So it is very understandable that something minor like this can just blow up on him, because despite them being minor things, I think I say this, I like to think that I say this a lot, but I do think about it a lot. You know, all these minor things that you feel like won't probably do too much, you know, not have too much of an impact in your life, but if it's a certain minor thing of the same thing and it just keeps happening over and over, it all builds up to a breaking point, and it seems like at this point right here, it's his breaking point. My favorite part about this is that you can have your breaking point and you'll be fine a little bit, but then, you know, if it just keeps happening to you, you're gonna get into another one. Unless you figure out the pattern. And even if you figure out the pattern, you'll probably still get hit with it, but, you know, hopefully once you're able to understand it, it won't hit you as much, because you're able to decipher through this feeling of yours. Anyways. We've got Nakami walking idly, you know, his 1,000-yard stare in the rain, and we've got Isaki out here yelling at him yelling at him in the rain, and across a giant fucking gap. She's just out here yelling at him, and very nice that in all this noise, he hears her voice, and it's very, very nice. So here they are, hiding away, Although I also like this as well, right? With and both of them are wet. Isaki decides that, I'm gonna shelter you from the rain. And yeah, even though this doesn't really work anyways with the way that she's holding the umbrella, because like you see the way that the rain is falling, right? It's falling this way, so like it's still gonna hit him. But here's Sasaki desperately trying to tell him that I'm going to be your shelter. You can rely on me, depend on me, and then this fucking car comes. And they both get fucking splashed on. Oh, sometimes life just comes to say fuck you. But here they are in this area that they've been to before in the first episode. They make mention of it as well, which is very nice. I like that they're continuing to use this whole radio thing, right? With her turning on the radio and the broadcast, and start recording herself and talking about the meteor shower and how grueling it is. And I like the way that they showcase this, because that's how it was in the previous episode, where it feels a little awkward to talk and then feeling like the other or you listening to that person and then having to talk back to them. Right? It's a little intense. It's kind of like, you might be fine hearing me on video, but then if I got on voice chat, you don't want to get on voice chat, or you don't want to talk back to me, right? It's that feeling. But a little bit more personal for them, and I like that Isaki uses that radio in order to talk to Nakami about it, and then Nakami in the end turns on his radio, and they start talking to each other through the radio, talking to each other indirectly, but also directly at the same time, because they're in the same area, so it's like writing a diary and then giving it to your fucking therapist. Yeah. You've got all these shit that you want to say to your therapist, but you feel like you can't say it because perhaps it's a little embarrassing, so so your therapist tell you to write it out and then give it to them. Anyways, with them talking and him having a good cry, you always gotta have a good crying session out there. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl. It's always nice to have a good low crying session. This is literally what crying does. It relieves you of whatever emotion that you're feeling. Anyways, we've got this situation where Isaki admits to Nakami that he is a special person to her, especially after their first nightly outing, and that reinforces what she told him before, where she is able to fall asleep to his heartbeat, and that's the reason why she finds him so special to her. It's because of his heartbeat, she's able to fall asleep. And it's essentially, it's like the reversal of the previous episode, right? With Isaki telling her secret to him, and then him standing up and saying, "Hey, I'm going to be here for you whenever you need me." You can't sleep and you need someone to talk to at night. I'm gonna be there. So here is Isaki turning this whole thing, reversing this situation and being there for Nakami when he's currently feeling he's having his dark time right now. And her admitting to him that he is a special person to her, and it's like, wow. Wow. What kind of special are we talking about here, huh? But yeah, they had a nice they've got a nice moment with this situation where she's just over here fucking squeezing his cheeks and just pulling his lips. Give me those lips, boy. As they're having a nice slow moment of just staring at each other in the eyes. We've also got this fucking angle, which I was just like, what's going on here? We've got so many reaction scenes where it's just their face, and the editing just cuts off to something else, and then we've got this angle right here, and I was just like, what's going on? And then of course, it's Shiromaru. That's what's going on. Because it's not a romance if there isn't some sort of interruptions, right? We gotta delay this as long as possible. We gotta actually, I'll be honest, I don't really mind if they don't fucking kiss, I'm just a little tired of these sort of scenes all the time. Like, I genuinely, like, I don't give a shit if they don't kiss. As long as you actually show me that they're having some sort of emotional growth towards each other. You know, aka Bokuyama. I don't really mind that as long as you actually show me, like, them growing together with one another. I don't really give a shit if they do kisses or not, but this is the second time we've got this. This sort of fucking, almost a little romantic, you know, they might have not even kissed in this whole scene. They could have just blocked themselves, or they could have just been like, alright, it's time to go to the after party, and then they wouldn't have not done anything. But since we know that Shiromaru is also on the lookout for Nakami, of course she's gonna end up here, and it's a gag with the philanderer, right? So we're also setting up gags, now that I think about it. So yeah, we have this gag of Shiromaru thinking that they're just flirty all the time, and this is the big reason why she doesn't want to go on a camping trip with them. She doesn't want to fucking see this shit. So we've got, in terms of gag, we've got that, and then we've got this other gag that they were doing twice in this episode with Connie talking shit about Nakami, and then Nakami is just behind her like, hello? So yeah, we've got the return of that gag. So sorry, not the gag with Connie, I mean the gag of Shiromaru saying that he's a philanderer. Philanderer. Nakami is coming back, and this is almost close to a Lenny face right here. But Nakami's coming back, and he apologized to everybody, and of course everybody's just like, whatever. We've got another viewing party to set up, so come on now. We gotta party up, and then we'll fucking continue with our next viewing party whenever that comes, right? And hey, they've already got everything sorted, right? They've got like the whole poster stuff, just in case, you know, if Nono can draw them another one. They've got everything all set up, so like the next party, the next viewing that they're gonna have, it's going to be much easier. But anyways, yeah, I like in this point again where Nakami is going back to the realization that, oh, maybe, well, I don't know if he's going back to the realization, but it's just another sort of, you know, Isaki's ideal, which is you just gotta keep moving. It doesn't matter if you've got all these bad things that just happened to you. You gotta keep moving forward, and you've gotta, well, actually, there's nothing else. You just gotta keep moving forward. You know, instead of dwelling on the past. Which, in terms of dwelling on the past, that also makes me think about his shoe. You know, whether that's like him dwelling on the past of his mother. But, again, just big old wide assumption out there. But yeah, I enjoyed Nakami finally coming back to the group and hearing that nobody puts the fault on him. It was just bad weather, and that's just how it is, right? And so I was glad that he was able to come back and everyone was able to tell him, like, you're apologizing for nothing, boy. God, I can't get over frickin' him, Shiromaru taking the shrimp and then just doing that to them. He's like, what's your reaction here, huh? The absolute blushes on him. And Ukagawa's just like, oh, it's bad table manners to play with your food. And she just goes into a little... like, Alright, Shiromaru, are you upset that they didn't kiss? Like, what are you upset about? The fact that they've got this moment and then they squandered it, albeit you were the one who discovered them, but I don't know. Well, we'll have to see what Shiromaru thinks, but I mean, if we're gonna get it at all, consider that we always have more focus on Nakami and Isaki in general. But okay. Anyways, I'm done. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, I forgot to set my mic back. Uh-oh. I apologize if I've clipped so badly. Uh-oh, that's really bad. Whoops.